Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Mike with Omega Survival and Exploration. Today I'm going to be starting two different kinds of fires, and I'm going to show you how I do that and give you a couple of tips. I'm going to start a fire with a flint and steel, a piece of flint and a piece of carbon steel, and char cloth that I made myself out of old jeans. And I'm going to start a fire with a huge chunk of fat wood and a ferro rod. So stick with me and I'm going to give you a close-up and show you how I do this. Alright, first of all, we'll do the tricky part first. If you have old jeans or anything that's 100% cotton, you can cut it into little strips and you stick it in a metal box and throw it in your fire and just leave it burn completely closed, and then you get these little sheets of carbon all the way down. They're completely carbonized. And what you want to do is take that, because it's very delicate, and place it on the top of your flint. Then you want to nick the metal straight down on the sharpest piece of flint. Until a spark catches. There we go. Char cloth burns really hot. There's a fire with a char cloth. And when you're building a fire, first thing you want to do, if you want to build a fire with this stuff outdoors, you got to get a pile of dried grasses and shredded pieces of dry bark, and you fluff them up as good as you can get them, like you just seen me burn up with the flint and steel and char cloth. And you also want to have stacks of really dry wood like this already ready to go on your fire. You start out with this, pick a little bit up at a time. I'll show you step by step. The same process works for a bow drill at this point, that works for a ferro rod and fat wood, that works for flint and steel and a char cloth. So I'm going to show you that process step by step when I use a ferro rod, but it pretty much works the same. You get your wood graded in sizes just to get the fire started, and then you have your heavy wood for fuel once your fire's going. I'm not Mr. Survival USA or Captain Commando or anything like that, but I spent a lot of time in the woods. My dad was a survival expert, and he was actually in the special forces. He was a force recon in the Marine Corps, and he did quite a few tours in Vietnam. And then after that, he trained Navy SEALs for years, and then he became a homicide detective in Union City, New Jersey. But he was also a very avid outdoorsman, hunter, trapper, fisherman, and I just grew up with a guy like that. He was a very hardcore doomsday prepper and survivalist. Sometimes he used to disappear in the woods for a week at a time with almost nothing. That's a whole different story though, the post-traumatic stress disorder stuff. But anyway, I was raised by him since I was young, so I've spent a lot of time doing this growing up as a child, and there was a huge time gap where I didn't really do much of anything, but over the last couple of years I've really been heavily getting back into the outdoors and survival. So I'm just sharing some things I know with everybody out there. Like I said, I don't claim to be Mr. Survivalist USA or Captain Commando or anything like that, but I do know a couple of things to make my life easier while I'm outside. So stick with me and I'm going to show you how to get a fire started with a ferro rod and fat wood next. Because believe it or not, some people don't know this stuff, folks. Some people don't know much about the outdoors, and a lot of people that subscribe to me and watch my videos do know a lot about the outdoors, but there are people out there that would come across a video on a how-to to start a fire the right way, some kid that might be interested, and that's why I'm making this video. So stick with me and I'm gonna get the next setup going. Here's a little tip that I want to show everybody, and you'll understand it in a little while. It solves a problem I had for a long time. You get a piece of dry wood, you get the con it as straight as possible. I would say that either one of them is fine. And I'll show you why in a minute. Here's that flat board. I didn't like the one that came out before. I didn't like the way it was splitting, so I just found another one. And it's good because it's a solid base to do this on. It's way more than enough for the big stuff. And then you can take that same board, because you're only going to need it the once to start the one fire. So you take it, put all your stuff on it, makes it really stable. Put that little fluffy piece there. Then you take a few of your twigs and it'll help that air get in there. Then you start it slow when it's at this stage. You take a couple of bigger pieces and throw them on. And then you just work your way up. And the wood I have stacked over here like this is fuel after you burn through all of this. Put those pieces on. Now I'm gonna make a real basic fire. I have, it's kind of gross, but I have cotton balls pre-soaked in Vaseline. They're all stuck in the bag here. You could use any kind of tinder though to get it started. Get that ready. I got a simple stormproof match and a striker. And that's it. You really want to baby them when they're this size. No leaves. I hate leaves in a fire. I used to start them that way when I was a kid. You want to crisscross the wood because you want the airflow. Airflow is very important. And that's it. You could start a great fire off of this. This is a great base. Alright everybody, I'm Mike with Omega Survival and Exploration, and I hope this video helps somebody. It's just a couple of starting a fire tips and tricks that I've learned over the years, so please like, comment, and subscribe, and until next time, thanks for watching.